we are going to go into the next level, the next depth, the next piece of information on laying the groundwork, the foundation for how what we do in our lives and how we choose to go about things changes the way not only our health serves us in the present moment and how we impact those around us, but how it goes forward into the future to serve towards increasing the health of our population towards something that can withstand and adapt to stressors in the future. So far we've talked about our mindset, how our actions, our feelings, and our thoughts change our nervous system, our genetics, how it determines whether or not we are traumatized or are able to adapt properly to overwhelming stress in our lives. And I said earlier this week how our bodies function like these software programs, these operating systems that are upgrading all the time in response to the things that we do or don't do in our lives. So I mentioned in the very, very first video that the way we go about things has a huge impact on whether or not it's going to help or hurt us. Meaning that we can do the exact same action from one place of fear, anxiety, or lack of trust versus the exact same action from a place of trust, understanding, and peace. And the way we do that, the way we feel and approach and why we're doing the thing we do will actually change in its ability to impact our health in a positive or negative way. So Kristen's going to share a little bit about her experience with that and some strategies that she uses to make that happen in a positive way.
So shifting our mindset and shifting our view of the world and how we respond to situations, specifically difficult situations, is not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. I know when news of the coronavirus started to spread, I myself, along with so many others, started to panic. And it took me consciously telling myself, wait, I don't want to respond from a place of fear and anxiety, because I know for a fact that it is detrimental to my health. So I began to think of a way I could not only shift the way that I respond to situations, but to also shift the framework from which I operate from. And so we can make a decision based on a lot of things, and like Dan said, we can do it from a place of fear, or we can do it from a place of health and lifestyle. So an example would be, we can choose to start a new diet, or we can choose to take supplements, and we can do so because we're afraid of getting sick, or we can do these things in order to bolster our health and to improve our quality of life. And to make this shift in consciousness away from a place of fear and towards a place of growth and healing, it takes time. So I began to think of a simple and easy way that I can start this shift in my life. And to me, it was by creating ritual centered around presence and groundedness. And to me, a ritual is a set of meaningful actions that I take habitually. So what does a ritual look like in my life? It looks like carving out the time and the space to sit down, to come into the present moment, and I meditate and I pray and I journal. And this begins to lay the groundwork for me to shift my thoughts. And creating a ritual in your life can be something as simple as drinking tea or a glass of water. And instead of doing it while you're walking around the house, doing other things, or drinking your beverage in front of the TV, you can carve out the time and space within your day to sit down and drink your tea with intention to come to the present moment and to find a sense of groundedness within yourself and within your life. And a ritual can be as simple or as elaborate as you would like it to be. It can be as short or as long as is comfortable for your daily activities. But I believe, for it to be successful, choose the things that you already do within your day, the meaningful set of actions that you already take within a day. And instead of, just doing it throughout the day, carve out that time and shift the interaction that you have with that action. Make it meaningful, make it significant, make it a time to shift your perspective. And it's by doing this consistently over and over again that you're going to be able to shift the framework from which you operate from. So I know that right now a lot of things are crazy, and for you family members, for moms in particular, I'm sure that the schedules are changing and you have different routines happening at home, but make sure to take that space for yourself, because you deserve it. And only through carving out that time to find presence are you going to be able to shift your mindset. So I hope that is something that is helpful for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback. And that's what I have for you.
Yeah. And I love what Dr. Matthew Mancuso shared with us there, that we're making the action sacred, right? Which is the difference we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because, even if we're not thinking about it, what you eat, what you think, what you drink, what you do with your body are the actions that comprise your lifestyle. They are the actions that comprise your own healthcare routine, whether you made it intentional or not. So taking that simple action of drinking a glass of water, and we know from research that when intention is poured into water, when our positive thoughts and love are poured into a glass of water, it actually changes the structure of the water and how it impacts our body. So we can literally start to transform our external and internal environment through our perception. And as Christian was saying, it's like, it doesn't just happen because we want it to. It takes this repetition, this practice. And so we carve out the space and the time as if they're physical things, because it's the space in which we interact, this time and this space. We create it as a special moment to get in the habit, to create those neurological patterns, to create the genetic expression, to create the software upgrades that allow for us to fall more easily into that health healing state. To allow our actions, not only eventually those actions around which we created the ritual, but the actions then outside of that time, because it becomes our natural state to be falling more into the sacredness of the moment and the intention behind why we do what we do for ourselves and our lives. And if you can't carve out the time because you're home with your family and everyone's crazy and together and is busy, we've been talking for years about wanting to get more intentional about eating food. Now, I confess I eat very quickly. I'm always ready for a meal, but I could stand to chew more slowly, eat more slowly. And so what did we start to do? Well, just telling myself, hey, you need to chew more and eat more slowly, it wasn't working. So we stopped. We said, okay, every time we're going to eat at dinner, we're going to hold hands and we're going to say a prayer. Some people say we say grace, right? And so you carve out this moment in time to start to change. It's a period on the end of the sentence and a start of a new sentence to say, now is something different. And we create that. It's almost like we're building our grammatical skills in the sentence of our daily lives to be more intentional, to be more fluid. And we can start with, like Christian said, the simplest thing: drinking tea, watching the birds play outside. I was not thinking that, but I'm thinking that now because it's what I'm doing when I look past the screen here. You can watch nature and just make a thing out of it. So regardless, and we can bless a donut with our presence and make it healthy.
Yes,
Dr. Matthew, I think you can. I think you can do that. It might not be the best outcome, but it's still better than nothing. So take that and run with it, do what you can, and we'll see you guys around the clock.